absolutely stunning. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. That's the Fenty side, and that's the one size. It honestly didn't wear down at all. Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a very exciting video. I have two powder foundations here, and I was planning on doing dedicated videos for both of them. I thought, let's do a side-by-side comparison. So the two powder foundations that I have today to test are the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation and the One Size Turn Up the Base Versatile Foundation Powder. We're gonna be testing both of these side by side and really comparing, you know, which one sits better on the skin, which one looks more smoothing and flawless, which one has more coverage, which one lasts longer. If you're interested in either of these foundations or interested in seeing them compared and both reviewed with 2 days of wear testing, then keep on watching. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them, and then we're going to go ahead and apply. So a little bit about the Fenty. This one came out end of last year, I believe. So it's not really like brand new, but it's still new. Like, it's only April. I was really excited to get this because I have seen great reviews. This one is a light as air powder foundation that gives you light to full coverage with a soft matte finish. It delivers a non-cakey blurred finish with no flashback. Buildable, light to full coverage formula, loves to be layered without settling into fine lines or clogging the look of pores. It's also sweat, humidity, and crease resistant, and comes in a chic portable compact. This is the actual packaging. Is it not the cutest little thing? Absolutely love it. It's like a beautiful, it almost reminds me of like opening a ring box, like, ah. This is the shade 120. I'm not quite sure if these shades are going to be exact, but I mean, whatever. They're going to be close enough, and I'm not going anywhere today, so that is 120. So the One Size powder foundation, just a couple dollars cheaper, by the way. It is a buttery smooth, buildable, medium to full coverage powder foundation with a multi-use formula, a soft matte finish, and up to 12 hours of wear. Customizable coverage, so again, it's buildable. Creamy true color pigments address acne, pores, texture, and uneven tone. For a soft matte blur, can be used to blot excess oil, set foundation, or touch up complexion as well. So it's a little bit more of like a versatile powder foundation, but I'm going to be using them both as foundation today. And another absolutely stunning product packaging wise. Really beautiful. I think I actually prefer the packaging of this one, but I don't know. They're both really, really cute. I don't know. Which one do I prefer? I don't know. They're just very different, and I like them both. Okay, so this one is in the shade 3 Fair Neutral. The One Size is like maybe just slightly darker. I don't know if you guys can even tell. Okay, so let's just get to it. I'm going to apply the Urban Decay All Nighter Primer. I'm not going to be using a setting spray today. I'm just going to go ahead and apply just a little bit of concealer under my eyes. I might just put a little bit of concealer on like this guy here and this guy here that looks like it wants to like swallow me whole. I just realized too that the one thing that the One Size doesn't come with is a like puff. So that doesn't come with an applicator, whereas the Fenty Beauty one does come with this little sponge. I don't really like these sponges, so I typically use my beauty blender, but I'll give it a go. And I will be setting it with the powder foundation, so I'm really blending it out to get any excess product so it doesn't go cakey. Just go over these big guys because, you know. And I'm gonna leave the rest just to see how it covers them up. So why don't we say this side Fenty, this side One Size? Let's do it. I'm gonna do a sponge today and a brush tomorrow so we can see. Pick up some on the sponge. It's not bad. I just personally like my beauty blender better. It's doable though. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender. You want to make sure you're picking up enough product because I was just kind of patting it, but you kind of want to like swipe your sponge or else you're not going to really pick up a lot of product and it's not going to give you the coverage that's intended. Let's try to do half my nose. My nose might be a little bit of a mixture, but I'll do my best to keep them separate. I definitely wouldn't say it's full coverage yet, but I'll just finish this layer and then I'll do a second layer. If you really, you know, pick up enough product, it does deliver quite a bit of coverage. As you can see, like it looks more even in tone. Yeah, and it covered that well. I mean, I had concealer, but there was some redness poking through, so it did cover pretty well. It's not really covering my blemishes. I feel like it's covering all my redness, uneven tone, but blemishes it's really not like covering, so I would recommend maybe putting some concealer down. So let's see if we can build it up a little on these guys. No, not really. It is buildable for sure, but the acne, if you're acne prone like me, it's not gonna fully cover them. So I just recommend putting a little bit of concealer. Just make sure you're not applying too much and make sure you're really blending it into the skin, because sometimes powder foundations are typically going to look cakey if you apply too much product. Let's put this under the eye as well. See if we can get some coverage here. Ooh, it's looking very smooth, very, very smooth. All my freckles are poking through. All of my blemishes are poking through. Let's see if we can just build up the coverage just a little bit. I would say this is a medium coverage, and I have built it a bit. So I definitely don't think it gets up to full coverage because it's having trouble concealing any pigmentation. It conceals redness really well though. So if your biggest concern is redness, I do think it really conceals redness very well, but anything like blemishes, freckles, aged or dark spots, you'll need concealer for, just to warn you. So maybe the coverage isn't like full coverage, but I do think it's really good for a powder foundation. It looks like a beautiful soft matte finish. It looks very, very smoothing to the skin. It looks very skin-like. It doesn't look powdery at all. I really, really like that. The under eyes are looking really, really good too. It didn't look cakey on top of that concealer. It looks very, very smooth. So happy with this one so far. Let's move on to this side with the one size. So I'm just gonna wipe my sponge off a little bit so that we're not mixing the product. Yeah, the shades are close enough. The one size just is a little bit darker. Yeah, you will probably be able to notice it, but once I have like contour and blush and stuff on, it probably won't be as noticeable. And as I said, I wouldn't do this like if I was going out anywhere, but today I'm not going anywhere, so good day to do this kind of thing. So the coverage I think is actually a little bit more than the Fenty. The Fenty, this is like, I haven't built it yet, and I feel like, now I do have more blemishes on this side, so you know what, tomorrow I'm gonna switch them as well, just to see how it covers, because I didn't have as many. Like it didn't completely conceal this guy. So in terms of coverage so far, the one size is winning. I'm just gonna add a second layer to see how much coverage we can get, because I did the same with the Fenty. Looking at the two, I definitely think the one size has like a touch more coverage, nothing too dramatic, but if you are interested in that, this has just a slight bit more coverage. I would say they honestly look real similar upon application. I don't know, do you guys notice a difference? That's the Fenty side and that's the one size. Again, I do feel like the one size has just a little bit more product, but it actually might look just slightly more powdery on the skin. Not like, it doesn't look really powdery, but I feel like I do see it just a touch more than the Fenty side. So far so good. I'm happy with both sides, to be honest. I feel like both sides have blurred my skin and my pores, but I do feel like just upon what I can see right now, I do feel like I prefer the one size as of right now, because it has a little more coverage and it looks a little bit more smooth on this area. But that being said, the Fenty looks a little more natural and it looks a little more skin-like, and it does look really smooth and has decent coverage as well. So I really like both of them, and the biggest test will be the wear. So if one side's breaking down faster than the other, that will be the biggest test. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup, and then I will be doing a 12-hour wear test because it's only 9:30. So I will come back, I'll be doing check-ins throughout the day, and then I will come back to let you guys know at 9:30 tonight what we're looking like, because I believe both have claims for 12-hour wear. So see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, so it is 10:11. So it's been about 40 minutes and I'm really enjoying both of these. I honestly can't really tell much of a difference. And when I look at the one size side, it definitely has more coverage. So as you can see a lot more scarring through, but as I said, I do believe this side has more scarring. So I'm going to flip them tomorrow. Even under the eyes, I feel like it covered the under eyes a little better, sorry. Do feel like both set down the concealer really well as well. So neither of them made the concealer look cakey, just for the heck of it. I'm gonna use this sponge on these blemishes and see if we can get some more coverage from the Fenty Beauty. This is the sponge it came with. It did build up a little bit there with the sponge. It does build. I just thought I would try that because I was sitting upstairs and I'm like, I don't know if I put enough product on those. So I wanted to add just a little bit more, and it did build a little bit. I still think I recommend because you can see one down here too for the one size. Neither of them are completely full coverage. I'd say that they're both medium coverage, the one size being slightly higher coverage. But they're both buildable, and I do think I recommend concealer on like spot concealing your blemishes before, making sure you're really blending them out though, and concealing under the eyes if you have really dark circles before you apply it, because it sits on top of the concealer really nicely. Both of them do. So yeah, that's basically all I can give you right now. I will update you guys, and then I will come at the end of the day to give you my final review for day 1. Hey guys, so I just am updating you on the foundations. So it is 3 o'clock. It's been 5.5 hours, and I just wanted to show you what everything's looking like. So this is the one size side, and this is the Fenty side. They're both honestly looking the exact same. Now keep in mind, this is a phone camera up close in front of natural light, so it's going to show a little bit more texture than you saw earlier when I applied it. But this is just normal texture on my skin. And then the breakouts, like we already talked about how it didn't completely conceal those. Other than that, everything's looking so smooth, so good. I haven't lost any coverage. It hasn't transferred or faded. It hasn't broken down at all. There's zero creasing on my nose on both sides. So honestly, both are looking really, really good, really smooth. Hey guys, so it is 5:48. So it has been 8 hours and 18 minutes. I just thought I would pop in, number one, to do kind of an 8-hour check-in, but also to show you that I am developing a little bit of a shine on both sides, but I would say more on the one size side. I don't know if you guys can see on my forehead, like you see this shine. When I turn, it looks a little bit more shinier. Not a lot, but just a little bit. No creasing though, no breaking down. So I'm really, really impressed with these. I haven't touched anything up at all except for my lips, but that's because I had to record. And I'll let you guys know what it's looking like at 12 hours. Hey guys, so it is 9:15, so I'm 15 minutes before the 12-hour mark, but close enough. I'm really impressed with them, but they definitely are quite shiny. So if you are a combo to oily skin type, I definitely would recommend touching them up throughout the day if you want to avoid this shine. So I would recommend a mattifying primer. I did use the Urban Decay All Nighter, which I do find helps control shine slightly, but I think tomorrow I'm going to use the Hourglass because I do find that that is a little bit more mattifying. And I think tomorrow I'm also going to use a setting spray just to see how that can help prolong the wear, if it does help, just so that you guys will know if you're interested in one of these, you know, does a setting spray help the wear or not. So even though I do look quite shiny right now on both sides, I am very impressed. So for a couple reasons. Number one, I didn't develop a shine until about 8 hours. It obviously has progressed and gotten much worse by the end of the day, but the biggest reason I am impressed is that neither side has broken down. Now, when I tested the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour wear, it had claims to last 24 hours. The claims were actually better than both of these because I think both of these are 12 hours. And it actually by 12 hours was completely broken down on my chin, on my upper lip, beside my nose, like completely broken down. It just didn't wear very well on my combo skin, no matter what I did. But now I'm kind of happy to have gotten these ones because I still get that smooth, skin-like, very natural looking on the skin, lightweight coverage, but this actually wears so much better than the L'Oreal. So unfortunately, this is where I have to say high-end has really proven to be better when I compare it to the L'Oreal one, just in case you were curious about that. I will link my review of the L'Oreal one below if you want to see that. Now, both sides have definitely developed a shine, but I still feel that this one's just slightly worse. Still, like, no creasing at all in the nose. It hasn't settled into any of my fine lines, like any of my smile lines. So really the only thing that I can complain about either of these is that it does develop a shine. I would have typically, if it wasn't a wear test, touched it up before it got this bad. Like, there's really not many complaints. The only thing is I do want to see if both of these can be touched up without going cakey. So let's start with the Fenty side. I'm going to just go in with the same sponge, go over the areas that are oily and see how it goes. Sometimes this can get cakey, and sometimes this can just really fix everything. So let's see. Look at the difference, eh? Shiny, completely matte again. Zero caking on the Fenty side. I'm actually really impressed. The L'Oreal one completely went totally cakey when I tried to fix it. So let's try the one size. I'm again just going to wipe the sponge a little bit on a damp cloth. Let's try the one size and see if we get the same experience. No caking at all either. So you can see both sides look very, very mattified now. It's completely taken that shine away. No caking whatsoever. There's no creasing whatsoever. It honestly didn't wear down at all, except for the fact that it got a little bit of a shine, but it was very fixable on both sides. So honestly, guys, like, I'm gonna have a hard time picking which one I like better because these are both incredible powder foundations. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2. So welcome to day 2 of testing the Fenty Beauty and the one size. And as I said, we're going to be switching sides. I did spot conceal a little more on the Fenty side, and I left these guys. I wanna kind of test to see if this truly is a little bit fuller coverage. We're gonna be trying a brush today with both of them and seeing how that goes. So I'm going into the Fenty one with my Sigma Flat Kabuki, which is an F80. And I'm just gonna kind of like swirl it. Yeah, we're not getting any more coverage than we did yesterday, so it's totally your preference. If anything, I think I got more coverage with a sponge. So if you want fuller coverage with the Fenty, I would recommend a sponge. You can use the one it provides. It was pretty decent, but I prefer a beauty blender or whatever sponge you prefer. And I'm really impressed that these are setting down concealer nicely because my MAC Fix Plus can get cakey on top of concealer. So I personally already feel like I like these better than my MAC powder foundation, which has been my OG fave for like over 5 years. So let's go in with the one size and see if it will cover up these guys. Now we're trying the brush, but we might need the sponge. Yeah, it's same thing. I feel like the sponge really packs the product on. The brush is faster, easier. It would be my personal choice if I'm doing a really quick, just I want to even out my tone, barely any makeup kind of look. But if I'm going for like a full look, then I would use the sponge. So again, I'm gonna do the same. So let's see if it will cover this up. Yeah, I still feel like I'm getting a little bit more coverage from the one size one. I still think that that's true, but like not a ton. Like it doesn't look that different. I just feel like I'm a little more covered. I do feel like the shade's slightly darker as well, so that's also why it looks a little bit different, but it's not that bad. Okay, so this is the one size on this side. It actually didn't cover these, so let's try building it. Yeah, I really don't think it covered much better than the Fenty one. So I feel like you get all over fuller coverage from the one size, but not enough to really cover those blemishes without having to apply concealer. So I would recommend for both of them to spot conceal your blemishes if you want them to be covered, because otherwise they will poke through. All right, well that is day 2 of application. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup off camera, and then I will check back in. It's 9:30 again today, so I will check back in a couple times throughout the day to let you guys know how it's wearing. I'm gonna use the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day setting spray. Yeah, it didn't really affect the appearance of them. This one is a more mattifying setting spray, so I'm hoping that it will help the longevity. I do feel like it kind of helped the one size one, especially because that was the one that looked a little bit heavier on the skin. So both of them are looking really, really nice and smooth right now, so I will let you guys know how they wear. Hey guys, so it is 2:02, and I just thought I would come on here to update you. So I actually am watching Handmaid's Tale, and I was watching it while I was eating my lunch. It's really, really, really sad and somewhat depressing. It's a really good show, super weird and kind of messed up, but it's really, really, really good. I'm obsessed, but it's really sad. So I started crying because it's like really sad, and I get too involved with my shows. But anyways, long story short, I cried a little bit and I had like tears rolling down on both sides, and then I was like, no, it's a wear test. I did try to fix it, so it's looking absolutely fantastic on both sides otherwise, except for you can literally see where the tears came down on both sides, and I did just try to touch them up, so I wanted to let you guys know that because I typically wouldn't touch anything up during a wear test. It didn't even really do anything. But also, so neither of them are waterproof. If you have really, really, really watery eyes, this wouldn't be like the most waterproof product, but I was trying to like get rid of them quick, so I kind of patted with a tissue and it kind of lifted the foundation with it. So I want to let you guys know that they're not completely waterproof, but everything else about them I'm super obsessed with. Like, I'm really, really happy. Hey guys, so I'm just popping in to update you. I just got my groceries. It's 6 o'clock, so it has been 8.5 hours. I actually have noticed I don't have nearly as much shine today at the 8-hour mark, so I definitely think the setting spray helped, and I will check back in at the end of the day. Hey guys, so it is 9:30, so it has been 12 hours, and I'm here to give you my update of day 2. So day 2, I'm still very impressed with the wear. I have no creasing in the nose, which is fantastic. I get that almost every time I wear a foundation, so I'm really impressed with the wear of both of these guys. So I do notice after using a setting spray today that I am much less shiny than I was yesterday. At the 8-hour mark yesterday, I probably looked like this, and this is now 12 hours. So a mattifying setting spray really is going to help prolong the wear of both of these. I do still believe that the one size I developed a shine is worse on this side, the one size side. I think the Fenty controls shine for longer. I think you get a little bit of a longer wear with Fenty, but like not extremely noticeable. Like, I really have to look hard. So they're quite similar in terms of wear, but if I had to choose one that's maybe just slightly more mattifying and like long wearing, it would be this one. But I do have to say that I think this one is slightly more full coverage. So they're both really, really, really good. I don't think I can pick one. Probably go for this one since it's just a little bit more long wearing. But really, honestly, they're both great. Pros and cons to each of them. They're both very smoothing to the skin. They both look very natural and skin-like. And they both really like wear very, very, very well. They layer on top of products very well, like the concealer. So I'm excited to test these on top of foundation, like a more like light to medium coverage foundation. Put this on for a little extra coverage. I am just going to quickly touch up with a brush. This is the Fenty side. I'm going to see if it works just as good as it did yesterday, but with a brush. Yeah, it definitely touches up with a brush, but as I said yesterday, I just think personally, it looks best with a sponge. That's just my personal opinion. I could totally go another like 10 hours. Yeah, now after I've said that, I think if I had to pick, I would pick the Fenty one, just because I feel like it wears a little bit more naturally. It holds up to my oils a little bit better, but I really love this one as well because the coverage is a little bit better too. So I'm super excited to have both of these in my collection. I definitely recommend both of them. I think if you were to choose either or, you would be really, really, really happy. I think they look a little bit more natural on the skin than my MAC one. So I think I might have found some new favorite powder foundations, guys. The first time in like a long time that I found one that trumps my MAC one. So thank you so much for watching. P.S. I didn't even mention anything. I got a new background. I hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a thumbs up down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more exciting videos to come. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.